Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another recipe, really quick curried shrimp or prawn. If you want to find out how I go about making this, please stay tuned and see you later. Bye. The ingredients needed for this recipe are few and far between. So from left to right, in terms of seasoning, all we're going to need is some curry powder, fish seasoning, black pepper, and some salt. We also need a knob of butter, about half a red pepper, scotch bonnet for flavor, and I'm using about 3 cloves of garlic here. And we're also going to need some coconut cream. So I'm using about half a pint of coconut cream, some spring onion, some coriander for flavor, and obviously the star of the show, about 500 grams of prawn. Now I'm just going in with some seasoning. I'm going to season the prawn and let it rest for about 10 minutes. So I just added in some curry powder, some fish seasoning, a little bit of black pepper, and a tiny amount of salt. You want to be careful with the salt because the seasoning already has some salt in it, and the prawns are obviously very salty already, it being seafood. So you probably won't even need any salt. I just added in a little bit for the flavor. And I'm also going in with my spring onion and chopped coriander. The coriander makes such a difference. I think it adds amazing flavor to it. And I also wanted to add that the prawns have been deveined. I deveined them one by one. You want to ensure that you do this. If you don't, you will end up with a very bitter sauce. So I'm just mixing everything up with my hands, and then I'm going to cover that up with cling film and let it rest for about 10 minutes. No longer than that, it's a really quick recipe. Once the shrimp is marinated, we can now make a start on our curry. And the first step to this is to ensure that the curry powder sort of releases flavors by frying in the butter mixture. So I went in with some butter, to which I'm adding some chopped garlic, and we're going to let that sweat for about 2 to 3 minutes before adding around 2 to 3 tablespoons of curry powder, which we will then let fry in the butter for about 5 to 10 minutes so that the flavors are released. It's about 5 minutes later, and I'm going in with the red pepper, which I'm going to let sit in the curry mixture for a further 5 minutes before adding our prawn. Now we're just going in with the marinated prawn or shrimp. I'm just realizing that I'm using that word interchangeably, but I'm guessing they're the same, right? Shrimp, prawn. So I'm just making sure that they're lying on the same surface and cook evenly. And the thing with prawn is they don't need long to cook. So we're just letting this sit there for approximately 3 minutes. And I'm also going in with some scotch bonnet for flavor. Again, I don't want this to break inside, so I'm just leaving it in because it releases a nice aroma. But I don't want the mix to be too spicy because, again, the kids are eating this and they're not crazy about very spicy food. So I've let the prawn sit in there for about 3 minutes, and I'm just turning it over prior to removing it. So I left the prawn in the curry mix for no longer than 5 minutes because we don't want to end up with very rubbery prawn. So you want to make sure that it doesn't overcook. And anyway, the prawn is going to go back into the curry once the coconut milk has been added. So I'm just taking that out now before it turns rubbery. And after this, we're going to add some coconut milk, let it cook, and then put the prawn back in. Okay, almost there. So now we're just going in with the coconut milk, which we're going to bring to a boil before adding in the prawn, which we will then let simmer for a little bit, by which time our curry will be almost ready. Once the sauce starts boiling, we can now go in with the prawn, and we're just going to let that simmer for another 2 to 3 minutes, because again, we don't want the shrimp to overcook. We want it to remain nice and juicy and not rubbery. So we're just going to let that in, leave that in for a further 3 minutes. And here's a close-up of the final result. I can promise you at this point, the kitchen is smelling amazing. The coriander scent is just coming through, as well as the coconut milk. And our shrimp is not rubbery, most importantly. So this can be enjoyed in many different ways. Usually we just go in with some white rice, but you can have this with rice and peas. You can have it with potato. You can have it any way you like. And I'm just going to plate this up in a minute and let you know what it looks like all served up. If you've watched so far, thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think of the recipe. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It will help me out. It'll actually let me know if I should be posting these types of videos, and let me know what you would like to see. And this is what it looks like all plated up. That's quite a bit of prawn. I think some of it will go back, but I needed to take a picture as well. And yes, look at that. Yeah. All right, thank you for watching, and see you very soon on the next video. Bye.